Hey, um, it's 8:09, and I'm getting the impression, Sergio Perez and Anthony, there's a neighbor across the street, might actually be cousins or they know each other, but they're talking as if I didn't even know these people. And talking as if they know me, but I'm getting the idea because I recognize his face before, Jason and in Woodland. I'm getting the impression they're part of some kind of spy ring. Sergio Torres and the neighbor across the street and the neighbor Oscar. Feeling it's actually becoming obvious, and there is a woman at 7,000 Springmont Drive that is communicating to each other. I want you to be aware that I'm kind of convinced that these are a group that are a group of hackers working or communicating to each other. That's my impression. The feeling that there's an electronic spectrum of experiencing tampering or overlapping of a pirate intruder that is interfering with the broadcast, or even this feeling of sabotage. The thing is, it's also organized crime, but I'm starting to get the idea that I actually have a nuisance talking over me, and this person thinks of me as a bum, so and is harassing me, and I just want you to be in mind, it's my own cousin. His name is Sergio Perez, and there's another Anthony, and it's Sergio is related to Soko Torres, Rosa Torres, Rosa Irene Torres, and I'm convinced that Don Anderson is also it's a person that is a partner in the gym that hangs around and helps work out. The thing is, I'm convinced that also knows Wayne Allen Maytum. And so it's such a big ring where I'm convinced it's starting to overlap the feeling that, and it feels like, you know, to be mindful of your own self. It's not normal for someone to actually eavesdrop and to feel like someone else is finishing the conversation. So it's making it feel weird, and it's making it turn. If it's the impression is actually harassment, so I'm actually being harassed by my own cousins, and so that's why we're trying to bring up the topic. The neighbors across the street and left to right. It's not a paranoia or even a erratic behavior that your own cousins that are sabotaging or overlapping internet. There's some type of internet crime or even communication in between that's or even identity theft. The feeling of there's a neural fraud risk, and I just want you to be aware. It's my cousins, and at least or even look into it, do your research. I'm convinced, or at least you share your thought too. Every now and then, I'm interested in becoming. I did look into, or I'm actually interested to look into become a bit more approachable or to even speak, because when I'm in between, I'll get the idea there is such thing as mindsets are a bit aggravated because I'm kind of convinced it doesn't mean the person's mentally challenged, but the thing is when there's some type of eavesdropping through a spectrum, I guess from either end, it can create a feeling of some kind of pissed off mood. But yeah, so I have a new group that this showed up. It's normal to speak up when someone every time when someone moves in. I always say something, so it's normal to admit. But when someone's trying to yeah, the feeling of a neighbor that never doesn't actually know you, but this person calls me a bum. So it's and then not just that. This too, he has some other neighbors that a group that even admitted that they tried to jump or they wanted to jump me. I'm at an old age. I don't know what they think I'm some 16-year-old, maybe in nighttime. But the thing is, the mindset is actually to the, you know, get the idea. It kind of triggers a mind to actually feel that there's some type of irritating me, because then that means that someone else is out there prowling around that just said they're willing to actually harm, or actually they thought it. Well, it didn't come out of me first; it came out of them. And the reason I bring this up, I kind of convinced that there's an induced chemical in the conscience of others, but it's to a point where it's the community, and then the officers show up. It's kind of pointless to act like I'm causing a nuisance, because there's a nuisance that's causing a feeling of overlapping of harassment. But I'm kind of convinced it's police officers who are also involved in harassment. That's so it's giving, at least be mindful. Um, when there's a sex trade, it's also there's a feeling of a Western effect that there's corruption of officers do want brothels of their own, and that's where it feels like sex trafficking is actually controlled by them also, or the feeling that they know there's other secret contacts. And when there's a secret order of a secret order, you would think um, there are mafias. So and thing is there's a feeling of sabotage, and things do backfire. But the thing is, it's not me. There's a this is ready. It's a feeling like a it's something else I'm not too aware of. The thing is, I'm getting the impression is that I'm kind of new. The feeling of being interested to have a wingman, someone actually to even share a thought, I shouldn't be resented. And actually, if I was interested or even into minor body sculpting, I mean, it's not a person to be resented. If anything, it's kind of like, you know, bringing up a just bringing it up, mentioning it. But the thing is, I'm unable to actually really get around right now, because I'm kind of convinced that there's an actual real nuisance, that kind of feeling of a risk of a threat, and as these police officers are sure, can't really make a false impression of mental illness, of each person is going through some type of irritating, that there's a spectrum overlapping, or the feeling that they're part of some hidden movement, or there's a mafia that these police officers are helping them. And because it's kind of pointless to bring up mental illness. There's a mafia that is actually overlapping a nuisance too, and that's actually a real. It's the and I was if I actually bring up a level 4 correctional guard, should be entitled to some type of safety or claim. And I actually am in that type of section. My own biological father. So it's the thing is that Sacramento should be recited, Elk Grove should be recited, and there's a feeling of some type of daily nuisance. And so I'm definitely innocent. If I was in court, I definitely complete. I 100% feel innocent. But the thing is, I kind of feel like I'm living with a scarred conscience, because there's the intruders kind of it's kind of feeling like there's a new pattern going to the subconscious. And if I was, or if I had made friends with a financial banker, I feel like my brain patterns would have been 100% different. There would have been just more things that. So I'm getting the feeling there's two different conversations in my device and outside. At least someone to do some research to get an idea I'm telling the truth.